Hello my friends, BlackCaptain8 here again. Recently I had the privilege of a 2-hour phone call with StewieDoo, the creator of the amazing Star Trek Fleet Command Officer Tool. It is an incredibly valuable resource freely available to all of us Star Trek Fleet Command players, and mastering it will take your gameplay to a whole new level. In this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into the roster, all docs, preset crews, and ships tabs of the Star Trek Fleet Command Officer Tool. Let's go. Alright, we'll try to keep this video as short as possible, but it will be as long as it has to be. Sorry about that. Some of the main reasons the tool exists are to help manage and simulate crews when officers are unavailable on another ship or an away team assignment, something like that, and to help you maximize your below deck stat bonuses. In this video, we're going to do a mock-up crewing 5 of our ships for a territory takeover and then translate that into our game. First, there's some housekeeping items we need to address though. We have our officer bonuses over here, which we should have already had input, as well as our ships. You want to make sure that all your levels for your strongest ships or whatever ships you're going to be using, if perhaps you're not using your strongest for some reason. Right now you can only put 1 of each in here. However, that may change in a future update, but put the level of your ship that you want to crew in here. It's going to come into play a little bit later on. When you are filling in these officer bonuses, you'll notice that the conditional formatting will turn this green when you have hit the max for your operations level. For instance, the academy building is upgraded to the max right now, so 35% is the max bonus I'm going to get to my officers here, and I do have prime officers that is either 0% or 100%, as there's only 1 level of it. Speaking of our officers, this checkbox up here, if you'll notice down here, are attack, defense, and health. If we uncheck this box, you'll see the stats are a lot lower. That's because in the game, unless your officer is on a ship, it doesn't apply all your research, your buildings, etc. to that officer's stats. If you were to go look at them in the game before you put them on a ship, you'll notice that it will show these numbers. If you were to put them on a ship, even below deck, then it will show the apply bonuses toggled numbers. If you're looking in the game and you don't understand why your attack, defense, and health are not correct, and you have made sure that your officers' rank and levels are in here properly, make sure that you have this toggled properly, and keep in mind whether your officer is on a ship actively or just sitting in your roster. Another toggle that they gave us here, I love this, click to see stats at maximum level. If you look at 0718 right here, if we were to toggle this on, this is what he would be at level 30, his attack, defense, and health. It's not great for 0718. If we look at Beckett Mariner, however, which is a brand new card I don't have access to yet, but I can see what the stats would be on a completely maxed out Beckett Mariner. The attack would be 5,107, really high attack there. In fact, we can go ahead and sort this by attack. Z to A, we want the biggest ones at the top, and we'll see Beckett Mariner's pretty high up as one of the higher attack stats in the game. Doesn't come anywhere near the 11 of 11's 6,930, but that's still a pretty decent stat. That's why you want to know where that button is as a new officer is released, it gives you a pretty good idea on if you should be pushing that officer strictly from a raw stat value standpoint. We go ahead and sort our officers back alphabetical for now. That will change the order of the list as I show you here as we go to simulate our crew. So we'll be doing that over here. We want to go ahead and select our ship. I will be changing it on the auger first. In fact, we'll switch over to our all docks really quickly, and I'll go ahead and toss these ships that I'm going to put on these docks over here just to keep them bookmarked for later. So I'm going to put my auger on the first dock. I will put, let's say, Bortus on the second. On the third, I'll do my Vidar. On the fourth, we'll go with the Stella. And then, of course, dry dock G, which is down here at the very bottom. I'll do the USS Discovery. So now our goal is to go ahead and try to find crews for every single one of these ships, not using an officer more than 1 time. So I'll show you how we can do that right here. So we'll come back to the roster screen. You can see there's all sorts of other bonuses in here. If you were to put an officer like, say, Emerald on here real quick, then you'll notice the bridge officers, we get a 30% bonus to their attack. So when this is calculated down here, it will go ahead and take into consideration that bonus to the attack stats of the officers. Pretty nifty. It helps you if you are trying to get some extra bonuses down below your decks. Just wanted to toss that out there real quick. We are not going to be using her on our auger. I'll tell you how we can figure out what we will be using though as we'll go over here to the preset crews. For the record, I will be speeding up as much of this as I can after a couple of ships, so slow down, pause, or replay the video as necessary. Don't be afraid to ask for help in the comments and on the STFC Officer Tool Discord server. So for our auger, we will select PvP for battleships, and scrolling through our list here, our general PvP Honor Guard Wharf crew seems like a good fit for us. We'll go select it from our drop down up top, and it will populate Lorca as our captain in the middle, Captain Tilly to the left, and Honor Guard Wharf to the right. You see our recommended ranks, we are green across the board, which means that we have at least the minimum rank for these officers. In our notes section, we can see Lorca can be substituted for Gorkon if not attained, but Lorca has provided better results. Also, if Gorkon is used, then replace Captain Tilly for Kurla. We may try both of those out on our auger just to see which one of them provides us better stats. as we will be crewing multiple ships, so we might have to take a more hybrid approach. From here, we'll head back over to our roster tab, make sure that we don't have our click to see stats at maximum level toggled on at the moment, and we can start filling in these officers. You can type in the name so that it can find them a lot easier. We want Lorca, put Captain Tilly on the bridge, as well as Honor Guard Worf. Now with just those officers, we see that we're getting 180% bonus to our attack, 120% to our health, 90% to our defense. We want to get those as high as possible. Now we're doing this with our auger, so let's switch to our ships real quick. We've got our auger selected. We are level 20. That means we do have 3 crew slots available in the lower decks. We need to keep that in mind while we're doing this. We don't want to go ahead and have this crewed out like we have 4, 5, 6, whatever slots below deck, or we will put ourselves in a bad situation. So we need to keep in mind we're only going to use these first 3 to do this. We'll go sort by health. As a newer player, a good guideline is to prioritize your health bonus all the way to max first, then your attack bonus to max, and finally your defense to max. There are times you want to completely throw that out the window. Do not use that as an unbreakable rule. You will certainly want to mix that up. So check in your notes on your preset crews tab which stats you should be stacking. Otherwise, assume that you should prioritize health, then attack, then defense. So we'll go sort our officers that we have right now by health, Z to A, which is our largest number to our smallest. We can see here that we have Nero, Bones, and Khan as our top health officers. What's awesome is that this sorting that is over here is how we will see it in our list over here. So this will automatically have our highest health officer that is not being used up there on the bridge. So we'll go Nero. That puts us at 210 for our health. Let's try Bones. 270, we're getting pretty close. And Khan, we are stuck at 270. Remember, there's 2 variations of this crew, so let's see if we were to swap Lorca for Gorkon and Captain Tilly for Kurla. Look at that. That will give us our 300% attack bonus and 300% health bonus. The Lorca crew does seem to perform better. However, we're going to go for that stat bonus, so this is the crew we're going to want to load onto it. By the way, in Google Sheets, you will see that you have this invalid input must fall within specified range error that comes up. That's because once you select it from the list, it actually removes it from the list of options, and therefore it thinks that you've made an invalid selection. So you'll have to ignore that for now. In Excel, you can actually suppress that so you don't see this, but it will generate that same error. This space down here right below the officers, pay attention to that. Sometimes you'll get a little note in here that will tell you if there is some sort of an error or there are some Easter eggs, and we will come back to that in a little bit. First, let's head on over to our all docs and load out our auger as we have just built it here. So first we want to go with Gorkon, Kurla, and Honor Guard Worf. Then below decks, we wanted to use our Nero, Bones, and Khan. And there we go, we have our auger ready to go. So we'll switch back to our roster screen. We'll delete all these out of here so they're not in our way. We'll switch our Bortus into the hot seat here. Let's go check a crew that we want to put on our Bortus. Again, we're going to do PvP for battleships for this Bortus, but we're going to have to pick a different crew that doesn't overlap the officers we've already chosen for the auger. We'll try the General 5 Morale crew. So let's pick it from up top. Our recommended ranks are Kirk rank 1, 5 of 11 rank 1, and Spock rank 4, so we are good there. And the notes say we have to stack our lower decks for health and defense. Attack will not be as important this time around. So we'll head back to the roster tab to build that out. Before we crew our lower decks, let's go check our ships again. This time we'll want to drop down to our Bortus. We are only level 40 out of 45, which means we can only use 6 of the available 7 crew members below deck. We need to keep that in mind. We were told we need to prioritize our health and our defense below deck. So let's see if we can get a healthy mix of the two. We're sorted by health right now. Nero, Bones, Khan are on our other ship. So let's toss 10 of 11 on there. It gives us a pretty decent amount of health. Let's go ahead and switch over to our defense as well. We can toss our Azitbur on there. Bones is already being used, so let's toss a couple healthy augments on there. We'll grab Mud, and then for this last officer, let's see if we can get somebody that has a bunch of defense and health. So looking at our list here, it looks like Grush is going to be better than Keenser because we'll get a bunch of health and defense instead of just defense. So we'll toss him on there. Yes, we hit all of our bonuses, but remember the defense and health stats matter a lot to us, those raw values to calculate 5 of 11's ability as well as Spock's shield regeneration. So we want to go way beyond our maximum bonus for this crew. That looks good to me. Let's go ahead and load it up on our all docs. Let's switch the names of the officers to sort alphabetically so we can find them pretty easy. And let's go grab our 5 of 11, Kirk, and Spock. And then below decks, we went health first. Let's go ahead and sort by health descending. Back to all docs. That will make it easier for us to grab our 10 of 11 here. Then we went and sorted by our defense. So let's do that as well. And we'll need to add Azitbur, Navi, Joachim, Mud, and we skipped Keenser, went to Grush, and we do not have all 7 slots available. So that is where we will stop. We've got 2 out of our 5 ships crewed. For our next ship, we're going to go with our Vidar. Let's head back to our preset crews. This time we're going to go PvP for interceptors. Since we did not use them previously, Lorca, Captain Tilly, and Kang should work, as a lot of these other officers are on other ships now. We'll select the Interceptor Lorca Tilly King from our list to see what our recommended ranks are and any other information we'll need. Captain Tilly rank 2, Lorca rank 1, and Kang rank 4. If we see here this is yellow, we do have Kang, but we do not have him at the recommended rank right now. He is extremely underbuilt for this crew, but we're 3 crews deep now, so we're just going to do the best that we can, and we will stack our lower decks for attack and health. So back to our roster, let's clear this out. Make sure we tag our Vidar in. Let's sort by officer name, A to Z again. Let's go grab Lorca, Captain Tilly, and Kang. Our preset crew over here tells us we need to stack lower decks for attack and health this time. So let's go ahead and sort by health, see who we have left. Already using Nero, Bones, Khan, 10 of 11. We do have Levis available, Carol's available, Ston, 4 of 11, good old Rima, Charvanek, and Deanna Troy. We're not going to be able to max out any of these bonuses here, but that's the closest I think we're going to get. Let's go make sure that our ships say that we can use all these officers. Swap to our Vidar. Yes, we do have this completely maxed out, level 45, max level, 7 crew slots available to us. So let's go drop that on our all docks as well. Make sure we sort this by name so we can find our bridge crew easier. We'll go back to our roster, sort by health so that our other list is easier to find the officers we chose. Alright, here's our 4th crew that we're going to go with. I'm actually going to use a speed crew here. I don't need to go look it up. I know the crew that I will probably use. Let's go to our roster, sort A to Z because I like to use my Stella with a Claw speed crew on it during takeover so I can go run down those pesky floating ships. So we'll grab Claw out of here, Crass, and our common officer Kamal because that way we will get max synergy. Yes, Pan will give you a higher speed crew with max synergy than Claw. However, we do not want to put Hull Breach on our own ship during a takeover. That is a recipe for disaster. We can go ahead and sort by health again and see who we have remaining we can put on this ship. Let's go make sure that my Stella is maxed in our ships tab. It is. The last time we put it in here, it was 45 out of 45, 6 crew slots available, not 7. So we might have to go back one of those off. Yes, we have to take Avix off of there. Sorry, buddy, you don't get to play today. So let's carry this crew over to our all docks. Now wait a minute. All of our bonuses are maxed here, but they're not on the other page. What did we do wrong? Aha, we forgot to switch this Vidar for our Stella here. Let's see if that changes our bonuses. Ah, we're all maxed out here. Let's go ahead and back out some of these officers until we go below one of our bonuses. Aha, so now that we've backed out 3 of those officers, we're only down to 270% for our defense. Let's see if we can find an officer with the right amount of defense that we need to finish this ship out. So right now we have 2,489 out of 3,600. So we're looking for someone with 1,111 defense or higher, and as close to that as we can get so we're not wasting an officer here. So it looks like T'Pring is going to be our winner. Toss her on there and we are at exactly our bonuses. We're not going too far over so we can use our officers with higher stats potentially on another ship. So let's carry this information back over to our all docks tab. There we go, only one more to go, and usually on this dock G with my discovery I like to go with a full synergy mycelium efficiency crew. So let's go to our roster and make sure we switch our ship this time to the USS Discovery. We'll remove these officers from below deck so we can calculate that in a minute. Pull our officers off the bridge, sorting A to Z again. Paul Stamens is our man as the captain. Where would Paul be without Culber? And we're actually going to toss Arium on here. Great comment left on one of the other videos. Arium will provide full synergy and it saves Saru for stats to be used elsewhere. So now before we make this mistake again, let's go see how many crew slots we have available for our Discovery. Back on our ships tab, scroll all the way down to USS Discovery here. We're only level 28, so we should only have 3 out of 5 available crew slots. We'll keep that in mind as we go try to crew for health, sort Z to A again, and find some of these people we have not used yet. Let's go double check that on our all docs page after we sort our officers alphabetically to find that bridge crew. You can type in the officer's name here so we can find all Paul Stamens instead of searching through that list as well. We want Culber on the side as well as Arium. Go back to our roster, sort by health. You could just leave it sorted by health and type in the names if you know exactly the bridge crew you're looking for. We probably could have done that and saved some time. So there it is. That's all 5 of our docks that we have available currently in the game at Operations 35. Let's go make this a reality. All right, my friends, times like these, I'm super glad I have 2 monitors. We'll go ahead and pull up this officer tool on the other monitor. Let's toss a stopwatch up here and see how long it takes us to go ahead and crew this out since we know exactly who we should be looking for. Here we go. I'm searching for Mud right now, and of course he is on an away mission, so we'll go ahead and leave that where he is. I think we're going to run into an issue with Rima and a couple of our other ones as well. That's all right. We can finish them up once we get towards the end of this. So we can go ahead and stop that. That was less than 5 minutes. We crewed 5 of our ships with fairly decent crews on them to be able to go take on a territory. This would be more helpful for an attack than a defense since we have our discovery. I like to usually park that somewhere in the area, but not in an area that the takeover is happening, so I can summon ships to it so it doesn't get blown up, and then send them back into the system. We'll look in our away teams tab. You'll see I've got all sorts of these that are ready to report. We do have an away teams event that's coming soon, so I'm just leaving all those there. Usually when a takeover is going to be happening, if I don't anticipate one of those coming, then I'll only send out some uncommon or common officers on the away teams that I'll leave to not pull back, and I won't find myself in that position. Not that big of a deal though. I think we did a pretty good job crewing that, and you can go ahead and keep them on that spreadsheet if you think you'll be using them pretty often. We do have a few more things to talk about in here. I know this video is running really long, but there are a couple cool little things that I'll tell you about real fast before we wrap up. If you notice on our roster screen, we've got these different icons here to show the level of synergy that we get. Our equal sign here will indicate that we are getting full synergy, and if we only had dashes, so if we went with Tilly instead, then we would only get that half synergy instead of full synergy. And now, for those of you who stuck around long enough to get to this point in the video, we're going to show you something really cool in here. Something I think StewieDoo is a genius for putting this in here. You will get some Easter eggs here in this box depending on how you crew it. I will show you one such Easter egg real quickly. If we select our G3 Enterprise and we were to put Spock on here, we get this Revduce. Spock doesn't go on the Enterprise Easter egg. There are several other Easter eggs put in here. I'll give you a hint to another one. Try putting all Spocks on the Enterprise and see what comes up. What other Easter eggs have you been able to find? Share those in the comments down below. These are getting added all the time, and I think it's amazing. So there you have it, my friends. That is how you use the roster, the all docs, the preset crews, and the ships tabs on the Star Trek Fleet Command Officer Tool. I hope that this was in some way useful to you, hopefully extremely beneficial to you as it was for me when StewieDoo walked me through it. Speaking of, support is extremely important to StewieDoo and Lube, so if you have any further questions that I was unable to cover, or if I left anything cloudy at all, head straight over to their Discord channel. They will be more than willing to help you out. Please consider donating to them via the link in their link to spreadsheet channel on their Discord if you are able to. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. If you missed the other videos in the Star Trek Fleet Command Officer Tool series, you can find them right over here. Live long and prosper, my friends. We will catch you next time.